and welcoming you back here into the Orange Media Network studio. I am Keenan Puncocher, alongside with Caleb LaChapelle. We are continuing our election coverage tonight. We did just have a major update while we were away. It looks like the state of Iowa has gone in favor of Donald Trump. Iowa, a state with 6 electoral votes. As we were mentioning earlier, Iowa is a state that there was a lot of dislike of Hillary Clinton, and it's interesting to look now. CNN has projected Donald Trump to win Iowa. 86% of the vote is in Iowa. He holds about an 11% lead. So pretty confidently, he does win Iowa.
Yeah.
And, I have to say, most of tonight, as well as the state of Iowa, I did not see coming in favor of Donald Trump. I think a lot of people are probably a bit surprised by the election so far that we've had. To bring people up to speed, it is 238 electoral votes for Donald Trump compared to 209 for Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump does still gain about 1.5% in the popular vote, but the electoral map definitely playing favor to him. As the biggest headline, before I get past the reins to you, so to speak, is that Donald Trump has taken a slight lead in Pennsylvania as well.
Yeah, Donald Trump, if he is to win those 20 electoral votes in Pennsylvania, we'll put him at 258 electoral votes. That is 12 away from the magic number. With Arizona being 11 and him having a 4-point lead in Arizona, that's another way he could possibly get to 270. Utah's another 6. He could possibly get to 270 through that as well. What I'm really looking at seeing is Michigan is still at 67% out. 67% of the population is voted in Michigan, and he has about a 2% lead there. Wisconsin has about 78% in, and he has a 4% lead there. Minnesota is about 71% in, and Secretary Clinton has about a 6% lead there. So we've been saying the magic number is 270 the whole night. Getting to 270 secures that you have enough electoral votes to become the new president-elect. But if no candidate reaches the magic number of 270, the House of Representatives then decides who would be our next president-elect. The House of Representatives is currently controlled by the Republican Party, but there is no rule saying that they have to pick either of the two candidates. They could, in theory, pick any person that is over the age of 30, that meets all the qualifications of being president. So, if Hillary Clinton was to win Pennsylvania and was able to pick off Michigan, she wins Minnesota, Trump would win Arizona. That would put him at about 249. He would then win Utah, putting him at about 255. Alaska would put him at 258, and New Hampshire would put him at about 264. Mm-hmm. If Miss Clinton was to win Pennsylvania, that would put her at 229. She picks off Michigan, that puts her at 245, and then she wins Minnesota, putting her at 255, and Maine, putting her at 259. Mm-hmm. And then Hawaii, putting her at 260. No, she already has control of Hawaii. So
she did win Hawaii.
She did win Hawaii as well. Oh, and then Nevada would put her at 267. Yep. That, in theory, sets up a situation where the House of Representatives selects our next president-elect.
That's a great point, because never really in our history has something like that happened. We haven't really, certainly in our lifetime, ever had to experience anything like that. And, I think early reactions, at least from my perspective, is that this race is much closer than maybe some people thought.
Yeah, much closer.
Kind of the last ORC polls that we were seeing is Hillary Clinton was leading maybe by 3-4 points, which, in the long picture nationally, that's kind of a blowout by many standards. Anything above 5 points is kind of more of a blowout.
Yep.
So, we're still going through it. There's still a lot of math to be added up. There's still a lot of close races, like, for example, in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania is within a couple 0.5%. So it's still very key to not jump to conclusions too far yet.
Yes, of course.
But
I was just setting up a situation that may that could, in theory, happen.
Right. No, and that's absolutely looking like maybe the case because, I'm curious to see maybe tomorrow if that's when we start getting some bigger pictures. What maybe, we've heard the Latino vote was huge,
Yes.
but it doesn't seem to be paying too much favor for Hillary Clinton. Early voting from, what we've seen doesn't, it did originally give Hillary a bit of a boost, but it looks like exit polls are showing Donald Trump arguably winning many states. So, it's going to be interesting to see because, like we've said, Pennsylvania is a key state at this point with 20 electoral votes. If, let's just, for purposes here, for devil's advocate, let's say Donald Trump wins Pennsylvania, that pushes him up to 258 electoral votes. He's currently pretty heavily leading in Utah.
And Arizona.
And in Arizona. That would push him up
over 270.
That would push him over 270.
Yeah. I don't see a way that Donald Trump doesn't win the presidency if he wins the state of Pennsylvania at this point.
No, because with the leads he has now, even if Hillary were to somehow pull off Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Maine, New Hampshire, and another key thing as this gets closer to the 270 mark, will a candidate hit it? Will they? Maybe not. Alaska still has 3 electoral votes, and it could very well be 268, 269. Maybe Trump wins Alaska and is able to push over the edge. We don't know because it is still very close. Just kind of to update here, it does look like Wisconsin has about 78% of the vote in. It looks like Donald Trump is maintaining about a 4% lead. I haven't seen that change too much, but again, that is only about 78%. Michigan still at about 70%. Again, that's a lot of voting still to be tuned in. That's 30% of the total population to vote still and count. But Trump does maintain about a 0.7% lead in Michigan. So that state's been back and forth pretty consistently. Pennsylvania, we're still seeing Trump now with about a 0.3% lead over Hillary Clinton. That's going to probably fluctuate, but that is a state with 91% in, so that's going to be a crucial state. And then another big state, like you said, is Arizona. 63% of that vote is in. Donald Trump still maintains about a 4% lead there.
I want to point out a term actually gaining a lot of headway right now in England or in Europe in general. It's called the shy Tory effect. Tories in England are conservatives.
Right.
In the recent Brexit poll, which had the United Kingdom leaving the European Union, the polls were skewed about 6 points liberal.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing again today, anywhere from 4 to 6 points in favor of Hillary Clinton coming into today. And as we're seeing right now, Trump's got a legitimate shot at winning this thing.
He really does. And, right now as it stands, he is not far away from collapsing or from hitting that 270 mark. Hillary still has a hill to climb as she is trailing in key states as Arizona, in Michigan, in Wisconsin, and now she is trailing in Pennsylvania as well. It's a very close race in New Hampshire. New Hampshire was looking like a Trump state. That's within 1% right now. Again, though, with 4 electoral votes, it would be great for Hillary Clinton to win that state. But again, the eyes are on the prize here of Pennsylvania, of Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan. Those are the big states. I also want to give an update on Minnesota. Minnesota right now is 72% of the vote in. Hillary Clinton is leading by about 5% there, so not a wide margin.
She's actually losing ground there as well.
She is, yeah. Yeah, and right now it looks like actually in Pennsylvania, like we said, it is a dead tie, 48.2 to 48.2, with about 92% of the vote in. We heard a common theme that might come down to rural suburban mothers in Pennsylvania. And it really might, because 92% of that vote in right now, it is almost a dead heat. Nevada, Hillary is able to gain a little bit of traction there, but it's going to be a close night. I think this night is not over by any means. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a few-minute break here. Once we get an update on something either locally or nationally, here maybe another state projection or something big in the local picture, we're going to go ahead and give you an update. So continue to stick with us here. We're going to be live on Facebook as well as through Orange Media Network. So make sure to tune in for continued coverage here tonight of myself as well as Caleb's coverage.